It's kind of measuring this, but the opposite. Hi friends, it's Andriy Vasilenko, and today we are having a sort of a mix of two ongoing series that you have liked, Deep into Hits and Suck Crank. Two iconic songs at once, seeking things that you might have not known, noticed or cared about, while figuring out which sucks more. Geek mode. Sandman and Symphony. If the songs were animals, I'd say that Sandman would be a spry horse. Yeah! And Symphony I'd compare to a powerful buffalo. Those are often the only heavy tracks by Megadeth and Metallica known outside the fan circles, and we, the fans, allow them to hate. Or sometimes just hate. Let's set the record straight and finally figure out which song has the smaller one. Music-wise, we'll break them down into aspects to evaluate, and then count the whole score. Which gets more points, loses. They both are simple, yet with different frameworks. Sandman is what's called 3+1 riff. There is a part that repeats 3 times, and what's called the tail. There's question, which ends on subdominant, unstable, and the answer, which solves to the root. And the fact that the question repeats 3 times kind of increases the suspension, and so your brain anticipates the answer even more.
Do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love me? For f***'s sake, yes I do, just shut up!
And it works better this way than the original form, 1+1. Because the resolution comes too early. But there's another secret besides the 3+1 formula that makes the Sandman riff work out that well. And I'm not talking about the triton. It does bring some nasty flavor to it, but most metal songs have it. So the Sandman's trick lies in what I heard called anticipation. But in my opinion that's a lame term. We should call it a false start. It's when the first note starts not on the first beat, but extends onto the previous bar, in between the beats, kind of and pulls back arrow. Something's wrong. And it works because this kind of rhythmic dissonance breaks what our brain expects, even though it's a matter of a fraction of a second. That's why I hate the term anticipation. We don't anticipate it. It's just this amount of time. And this is essentially a type of syncopation. And by the way, a syncopa is present in the Symphony Destruction riff too. You hear it? Now without it. You feel the difference. Dope, not dope. And speaking of the riff, the Symphony riff, it has a more unusual framework than that of Sandman. It's not question-answer, but rather kind of statement, another statement, and accentuated statement. Don't use my songs, don't use my songs, I tell you don't use my songs. And when it ends, it leaves room for bass to take over. And without bass and drums, this riff sounds awkward.
One eternity later.
Even though it's just open E, palm muted, but this clunky sound, it really adds to the riff. I'd say like 40% of its coolness and badassness.
So as simple as it sounds, there's a lot of nuance in it, and it all comes down to the pick and the palm muting back on the bridge. So,
by the way, Even though Dave uses pick to get the sound, you also can get it with fingers. Muted right here, right on the edge of the nut. So which riff wins? Sandman takes 4 out of 5 points. It is a solid riff. But Symphony gets all 5 for its framework and teamwork. And so Metallica wins this round because, you know, it sucks more. Both bands have done tunes without choruses, especially Megadeth. Dave is fond of weird song structures, often because he just glues different riffs together. Symphony Destruction is not the case though, nor is Sandman. Both have what's called hooks, but the Metallica one is somewhat catchier and more explosive. On the other hand, the song kinda relies on it too much, which gives it a more mainstream vibe. In Symphony, in its turn, chorus is the weakest link, relatively, because I'd still give it 4 out of 5 points. But Sandman is all 5. Megadeth wins. Do we even have to discuss it? Y'all know how I treat Sandman solo. In my opinion, it's mediocre, and it's the worst one on the Black Album. Kirk did have crappier ones since then, but maybe if done on Hardwired, for example, it would have shined. It's alright, but it's not breathtaking, like is, for example, Bleeding Me on the simpler side. Or Damage Incorporated on the more complex side. So I'll give it 3 out of 5 points, and now Symphony Destruction. I'll give it 6 out of 5. It's my video, I can do whatever I want. So in this round, Metallica defeats Megadeth in Stockest. Many people cannot stand Dave Mustaine's vocals. Surprisingly, it grew on me pretty fast. So I had no issues with that. So I don't know. It never bothered me. It's Dave. He's never said he's a good singer. He, just like James, had to take this duty. Well, if in Symphony Destruction Mustaine sang over a really complex riffing, like say in Holy Wars, that's insane. That could have given him extra points here. On the verses, he does not even touch the guitar when the vocals happening. It must be the easiest Megadeth song for Mustaine to sing, as must be Sandman to Hetfield. But thanks to its melody, energy, dynamics, Megadeth wins. I have nothing against poetry with minimum rhyming, as in the case of Symphony. Don't get me wrong, it works perfectly there, but the lyrics from Sandman are so catchy and the rhymes, the scheme is so well crafted. So I can't help but give Metallica another point here. So in this round Metallica loses thanks to the sheer poetic value. Bonus! Sandman's intro is a traditional Metallica's build-up. This is both the bliss and the curse of Metallica. Really long openings. But in the case of Sandman, it's quite on point. It's gripping your balls tight from the very beginning. An ideal kickstart for the album. We have discussed this Sandman effect in the ranking of Metallica album intros with a real life story from me. Check it out here. Symphony, on the other hand, does not have an intro at all, basically. It technically does, but that Symphony sample does not really count as part of the song. Instead, we are facing the main riff and the pace the song will follow right away. And surprisingly, that works out as good as Sandman's long-ass intro. Can you imagine Symphony with such an opening? Well, it used to have it actually. Listen to its demo. But whether that would work, that's another story. In my opinion, the original extended intro does not sound as great as the studio version. Sandman requires such an epic build-up, while Symphony needed to cut the crap and get straight to the point. So let's sum the shit up. You see that they're going head to head. To be honest, I expecting maybe even hoping Symphony to lose, to be better one. Especially consider such a huge solo. But facts don't care about our feelings. And by the way, here's my wife's new painting. And traditionally on my Instagram I asked your opinion. But I feel like you may have mixed up what I asked actually. But anyway, thanks for your comments and follow me on Instagram to join our future discussions. Thanks for watching, it's Andriy Vasilenko. Be in metal!